If you've got an empty cup of tea in front of you, get another cup made. I have a set of portrait images where I've tagged the best 10 for delivery, but there's a few images the sitter especially likes and would like some extra polish. I'll give these a 2-star rating and get to work. We'll go over the steps needed for a detailed portrait retouch. You can use Photoshop or a variety of other software. I like to use Affinity Photo because I also use their designer and publisher products. Retouching is a way of reducing distractions that you'd never have noticed in real life. In real life, people are moving and speaking. At a party, you'd notice their personality and humour, but not the spot in their eyebrow, not their chipped tooth. But then you look at a still image and the sitter's now a sitting target. These distractions will take the viewer away from the message of the image. If I'm staring at nose hair, then I'm not connecting favourably with the person in the picture. So the point of retouching is to show someone as if you've met them in real life. Counterintuitively, a retouched image is closer to real life perception than an untouched one. So when does the retouching go too far? If the final image does not honour the nature of the sitter, if birthmarks are removed, if we jump or drop a dress size, then they no longer look like themselves. A misleading picture can cause problems down the road. Detailed retouching takes a lot of time, so I'll only do that either at the sitter's request or because I want to use the image for my portfolio, a book or a print. Really good retouching will go unnoticed. Hours of work and the sitter won't know it's even happened unless the original is viewed side by side with the retouched image. It's consumed at a subconscious level. On the other hand, poor and fast retouching will get noticed, and this is not what you want. I've set up Lightroom to use Affinity as the external editor. Go to Edit Preferences, External Editing. Find the executable exe file of your editor, and I like to use TIFF as the final file format. I'll remove any developed settings completed in Lightroom so we're using the cleanest possible version of the image. I'll do this on a virtual copy. Now you can right-click on the image, choose Edit In, and pick your program. Your TIFF will be displayed in Lightroom alongside the raw file. Ctrl-J copies the base image. I don't do it for safety reasons because the original RAW still exists separately and it can't be damaged. I do it so I can do very quick before and afters as I'm working. Save often to present losing work, and I like to save with layers so I can add or undo details later if I need to. The workflow is going to be outline corrections, blemish removal, hair, teeth and eyes, and then a final brightness, contrast and sharpening. A neat outline or silhouette of the sitter gives the impression of well-fitting garments and attention to detail. Most of the lumps and bumps can be massaged away with a liquify tool. In extreme situations like weird shoulder pad folds, I'll use the lasso tool to copy and paste the other parts of the garment to hide the offending fold. If you've lots of layers, make sure the original image layer is selected before pressing copy. Liquify can also be used to tighten hair partings, move shoulders to make the image more symmetrical, or even in small details, like to fix chipped teeth. Now we're into the details. I'll use a new layer and call it Heal. Blemishes are handled with the healing tool by pressing Alt to pick nearby representative skin and using that to paint over the blemish. Don't forget to select the option to sample current layer and below. This resets every time the program opens, so you have to reselect that option. While the healing brush is selected, you can also tidy clothing and background distractions. Patchy skin redness can be remedied by making a new layer, selecting the brush tool and pressing Alt to sample some nearby desired skin colour and paint that over the affected area. Set the layer blending mode to colour and change the layer opacity to taste. Wrinkles are dealt with carefully because they're not a temporary blemish. If you get rid of them, a face won't look right. I like to use the clone stamp tool set to a lighten mode and at a low flow setting. The idea is to shine a digital light into those shadows, flattering but not plastic surgery. The next new layer is for hair, which can be tamed with a healing brush, but flyaways are often better treated with the clone tool to prevent smudging. Large patches of hair can be copied and pasted from one area to another. The copy can be rotated, resized, or even liquefied to fit the new area. For teeth, create a new hue saturation layer. Reduce the saturation and invert the layer's mask to black using Ctrl-I. Use a white brush to paint away any yellowing on the teeth. Go too far and it looks unnatural, but you can compensate by lowering the layer's opacity to bring some of the original colour back. Make a curves layer for the eyes. I like to lower the shadows and raise the highlights to make the colour in the iris pop. In the same way as with the teeth, invert the mask and paint in the adjustment with a white brush. What I've done so far I'd do to every image, but at this stage I'm looking for remaining distractions, like if there's a shadow or bright spot I don't like, I'll work out a way to tame it. Is there a certain colour that makes the viewer look in the wrong place? Then reduce its saturation. Final touches include a subtle unsharp mask applied so that when I turn the sharpening layer off, the image looks a bit blurry. I save the image and close. I'll export and print from back in Lightroom.